Today, in quarterback training, we're going to talk about the difference between theory and practice and why the term quarterback guru is overused and silly. Coming up right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Elite Athletes TV. I'm Mike Pawlawski, 11-year pro QB and quarterbacks coach here at EliteAthletesTV.com. I appreciate you coming and joining us here today. I want to talk about this whole term quarterback guru and the difference between theory and practice and what's going on out there when I listen to some of these coaches talk about coaching quarterbacks and what people should be looking out for skills-wise, tools-wise, coach-wise, because I see it going on a lot, and I just wanted to bring it out there to everybody who's out there watching. Before we get started, if you like football content, you love X's and O's, you like talking about the game, make sure you subscribe to the channel right here and ring that bell. That way you get notified every time we have new content coming out. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to talk about how you learn the position, who you learn the position from, and how to get better playing quarterback. And leave me a comment down below. Love to hear from you. Let's talk about the difference between theory and practice. Now, as many of you guys know, I went to the University of California Berkeley, right there. Cal is one of the greatest public institutions, if not the greatest, in the world when it comes to higher learning for colleges. And so it is a fantastic university. It is well-renowned for education, and based on academic prowess, it is exactly that. It is a fantastic school. And you go to Cal and you learn a bunch of theory, and I think it's like this at a lot of the UC schools. There's a ton of theory. Now, there are the departments. If you're going into electrical engineering at Cal or if you're going into business at Cal, you learn some hands-on stuff. But a lot of what you learn is theory. And theory is teaching you how to think about a certain subject. There's always a point and a counterpoint, how to win an argument about a subject. So you're learning this breadth of knowledge about whatever subject you're involved in. And although it's interesting, it's informational, you're learning how to think, how to argue, how to debate, how to compartmentalize all this stuff. You're not learning actual hands-on practice. And so when it comes to school, a school that teaches theory is about academia. It's about learning. It's about expanding, kind of in that Greek ethos of education. If you want practice, then you need to go to a trade school. At Cal, our professors are mostly academics. Not a lot of them have actually performed in the fields that they're teaching. They have studied the theory of those things. You go to a trade school, and they are hands-on. They have been doing the trade for years. To be able to come in and teach at those trade schools, oftentimes you have to have 10 years or 20 years of tenure in that trade. Now, we're talking about carpentry. We're talking about plumbing. We're talking about auto mechanics. We're talking about welding. These are guys that have hands-on, having to know exactly what you're doing, right? If I'm a plumber, I don't want to have to figure out the difference between a pipe wrench and a vice grip, something like that. I need to know what fitting fits what pipe. If I'm a welder, you need to know the difference between acetylene and arc welding, those kind of things. Very hands-on, very useful, very in the moment, very specific trade practice. And so when you're talking about the difference in learning and what you're doing, theory versus practice. Theory teaches you how to think, but then when you go into whatever business you're going to go into, and even if it's in law, you learn the law, but then you have to learn in the practice that you go to what avenue of practice, what specific type of law you're going to practice. If you're going into business, you have to learn the type of business. Is it mergers and acquisitions? Is it some kind of international trade? Whatever you're doing, you're going to learn those specific trade-specific skills in the field that you're going into from the company that you're going to be working for. And the more experience you can get doing hands-on work, actually doing the work, the better you're going to be in that field. That's just the way that it works. You need to learn from people who have actually done it, not just the theory of it, but the actual practice of doing the trade. And here's why I'm going down this road. Because playing quarterback is very much like that. You need to go to trade school. You need to learn from somebody who has practiced the craft. Otherwise, you're just learning theory about the position, and you're left to figure it out on your own. Over the course of my career, before I got into college, I had a bunch of coaches who I loved, fantastic human beings, were great mentors to me, but they didn't teach me very much about the position. None of them had actually played quarterback. We had 2 defensive backs and a former lineman that were my high school coaches. And again, I loved them, but when it came to teaching quarterback, they were very limited. They had studied some theory on the position, but in terms of actually teaching me the game, they couldn't do it at that level. When I got to school at Cal, I had former quarterbacks actually take over and coach me. Terry Shea being one of them. He was a college quarterback, University of Oregon. And then Steve Mariucci was my second quarterback coach when I was at Cal. He was a former quarterback at Northern Michigan. And so they'd actually played the position. They had been in the trade, and they knew the specifics of playing the position. Now, after I got out of Cal, I went to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where I had Turk Schoner, who had actually played the position as a quarterback's coach. But then, as I got into other leagues in the CFL, I had a good quarterback coach in Joe Barnes in Baltimore. But then when I got down to Shreveport, initially Joe had gone there, but something happened with the coaching staff, and we ended up with another coach, really nice guy, but he had never played the position. And so I sat in the meeting room with the other quarterback, and we would get suggestions from the quarterback's coach, and we'd look at each other like, that doesn't make much sense, because he was talking about the position in theory. Now, what brings me around to this is I hear guys out there calling themselves quarterback gurus. A lot of these guys never played the position at a very high level. A lot of them never played it past high school, but they're coaching it now, and they are telling you about how you should practice the trade of quarterback without having actually been in the trade of quarterback. Again, if I go to a trade school, I want to learn from a guy who's been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years. Guys who have actually practiced that trade, who know all the little secrets, all the little tricks, all the shortcuts, the hacks, the things that are going to help you to get better at the position. I also want the guys who can eliminate all the stuff that you don't need. And see, this is where theory falls down. When you're coaching theory for the quarterback position, there's a lot of things that guys are out there coaching that makes absolutely no sense for the quarterback position. And when they're calling themselves quarterback gurus, I'll let you in on another little secret. Anybody who played at a super high level is never going to call themselves a quarterback guru, because we know that it's the quarterback, the guy putting in the work, the guy who's giving the effort, the guy who is doing the learning, being coachable, who is actually improving at the position. As a quarterback coach, I know that I personally am giving you the drills, the information, the skills, but your reps, your hard work, your effort at the position is what's making you better. I can give you all the quarterback specific stuff in the world. If you're not willing to do the work, you're not going to improve. And so when I am coaching young quarterbacks, I am giving them the benefit of over 1,000 live game snaps in college and over 3,000 live game snaps as a pro, over 335 touchdowns in my career, over 17,000 passing yards as a pro. And so when I am teaching the quarterback position, all of that is boiled down to what I'm giving them. It does not make me a guru. It means I know the shortcuts. It means I know the tricks. It means, to go back to my plumber reference, I know which wrench to use on which fitting when you're playing that quarterback position. And so when I hear other guys call themselves quarterback gurus who haven't played the game at a very high level, it doesn't make me mad. They're trying to market themselves, and I get that. But I want coaches and players and everybody else out there to understand that teaching theory and teaching practice are 2 completely different things. And so when it comes to playing football, when it comes to learning a craft, learning a trade, I strongly recommend learning from somebody who has been in that trade, somebody who has done it at a high level, who has, and the more reps, the more snaps they have gotten, if they know how to teach, then that is a huge bonus, which is why I'm so pumped up. We have a new product coming out called Quarterback Secrets, and it is all about playing the position, improving your passing mechanics, making you a better football player, boiled down to, as I talked about, 11 years of pro experience, 5 years in college, 2 years as a starter, Pac-10 offensive MVP, world champion as a quarterback. So all of that knowledge boiled down into a package that's concise with the tools that you need to improve your game. And so that's going to drop here really shortly. But I just wanted you to have a thought about when you're getting coaching, when you're learning about the position, when you're trying to learn a trade, learning from a craftsman who's been in that trade for a long time is the best way to go. I'm excited because this product's coming out soon. All you young quarterbacks, all you quarterback coaches out there, anybody who wants to learn how to throw a football properly, this new Quarterback Secrets toolkit that's coming out here soon, you're going to love it. It's the quickest way to improve your throwing mechanics. It's the quickest way to get stable, to get on target, to get accurate, and to be efficient as a quarterback. And so that'll be dropping here shortly in the next couple of weeks. But remember, when you're trying to learn the craft, when you're trying to become a quarterback, learning from somebody who has done it, who has taken live game snaps at the college level, at the pro level especially. Once you get to that pro level, it's really a separator from guys that can do it and guys that can't do it. And so for guys that have done it at those levels, then that's who you want to learn from. So anyway, just a little discussion on theory versus practice to have a theoretical discussion. And I enjoy talking to you. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Appreciate you watching. Remember, when it comes to quarterback training, find somebody who's been there to help you out with your game to improve your football skills. Talk to you soon.